One of the problems being a soldier in the territory is just that. They are soldiers, combat-trained soldiers, but here they are fighting civilians.
You can see in their eyes a lot of hatred. You can see sometimes a little child of 2 years old, 3 years old, who is staring at you with hatred.
This kibbutz on the hill is a long way away from the West Bank and the Gaza Strip, but the uprising is very much on the minds of the people who live here.
That was Martha Raddatz back in 1988 in Israel during the first Intifada. Martha rejoins us from Tel Aviv. Martha, as we saw there, you have been covering this conflict literally for decades, and you've had a chance to follow the stories of several of the families that you met back then throughout that time.
I have, John. Israel was the first conflict I reported on as a journalist back in 1988. I've been here many times since, but on that first trip, some 35 years ago, I met Israelis and Palestinians who had hope for the future here, including some idealistic Americans.
In 1988, Michael and Deborah Tobin, who had uprooted their young family in Massachusetts to move to Israel, were in the place they thought they were meant to be.
I'd rather be in the middle of Jewish history than on the sidelines.
The turning point for me was thinking about sort of imaging myself being 90 years old, sitting on my rocking chair, and not wanting to look back and have regrets.
The Tobins settled in Efrat in the West Bank, an area controlled by Jordan until 1967, where the overwhelming majority of the population, Arab.
I would like to feel that it's very possible that we two peoples can learn to live peacefully in a country that we both love.
But 1988 was a time of constant clashes. I watched Palestinian villagers, angered by the growing settlements, throwing stones that Israeli soldiers met with tear gas.
After just a few hours, the military pulled out and the village was reopened once again. The only signs that any conflict had occurred here were the piles of rock on the side of the road.
But just hours after that protest, we happened on a wedding in the Palestinian town of Beit Sahur, a moment of promise for then 19-year-old Rana Itzhak.
People have to go on marrying and bringing more children because this is the only way that we Arabs, Palestinians, will stay in this country. So she's getting married, she'll bring another son, and he will be an Arab Palestinian. So it's our self-defense here.
There would be more protests, more violence, and horrific suicide bombings. So years later, in 2014, I tracked down the Tobins and Rana Itzhak again, now further apart than ever.
When you look at this land over the past 26 years, things better, things worse, how would you assess it?
Difficult questions. In some ways it's better, in some ways it's worse. Sadly, we still live in one big prison.
So you're not the idealistic couple I met 26 years ago?
That old ex-hippie, peace and love, let's just talk it all out and be good friends with the Arabs, no, that's gone.
The circumstances, unfortunately, have pushed each of us into our respective camps. It could change.
But what changed things forever, October 7th. We reached out to the Tobins after the Hamas attack, still living in Israel, now with 4 children and 18 grandchildren. Their son Aaron called up for service. For Michael Tobin, the massacre that left Israelis slaughtered in their beds has ignited an anger that will never be diminished.
The responsibility 100% lies in the hands of Hamas. They attacked us. They brutalized us. What did they think? We were going to come back and play, and play some game hopscotch with them? They put their people in harm's way.
We contacted Rana Itzhak as well. She lives with her husband and 2 children in Ramallah on the West Bank, behind a wall that will surely never come down now. She did not want to speak on camera again, but told us, "We are heartbroken for our people in Gaza. We are heartbroken how the world has turned a blind eye. I pray for a better future for my daughters."
A tragic situation all around.